Hello, welcome back to 360 Sports on a beautiful Thursday night. Finally, the sun is back and there is no rain. However, that is not what we're here to talk about today. I'm your host, Emily, joined alongside Fernando, Adam, and Victoria. We're going to start today's show talking about the Major League Baseball playoffs and how awesome the wild card round has been. The Padres, Royals, and Tigers advanced, while the Brewers forced a Game 3 that will be played tonight against the Mets. So, who do we think is going to win tonight's game?
It's going to be it's a tough call, but I'm going to go with the Brewers, to be honest with you. I just looked at the pitching matchup today, and it's Tobias Myers against Jose Quintrina. And these two pitchers faced each other last Saturday, and Myers got the better of Jose. So, also, let's look at the game yesterday. The Brewers were down 3-1 going into the 7th or 8th inning, if I'm not wrong. And they scored 4 runs, and they won the game. So they have a lot of momentum going into the game tonight. They have the home field advantage. So I feel that the Brewers are going to win, and we're going to have a Phillies-Brewers NLDS starting on Saturday.
I'm going to have to agree with Fernando on that. I'm going to go with the Brewers over the Mets for tonight's game. I think that is honestly a solid choice.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I watched highlights from the past Brewers games, and they really look like they are locking in. They are ready to face a team of the same caliber that they have already. They're ready, to just win everything.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with y'all. I think it's going to be the Brewers to take this series tonight. Watching last night's game, it was just phenomenal. The ending, Milwaukee coming back and winning that game, like Fernando said. And I think they know what they have to do. They can't lose in the wild card series like they did to Arizona last year. They have to win tonight and go on to face a very tough Phillies team in the NLDS.
I'll say this. I would not be shocked if the Mets win. This is a hard call. But also, there's only been 2 Game 3s. And guess which team has been involved in those 2 games?
The Mets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it really could go either way. But which wild card team has impressed you the most so far?
For me, the choice is easy. It's the Detroit Tigers. I mean, let's look at what they did yesterday. They swept the Astros. This team has been to 7 straight ALCS championship games. They have a Cy Young pitcher in Tarek Skubal. And let's not forget, in August 10th, they were 10 games back of the wild card. And that percentage was 0.2%. They were sellers at the trade deadline because they traded Jack Flaherty to the Dodgers. And this team, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to go with the NFL and say that this team is like the Detroit Lions. They have grit and they have a lot of resilience.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I was kind of shocked that Houston got out because, like Fernando said, they've been to the ALCS for the past 7 years. I thought they were going to make it an 8th round, but the Tigers really, they came out, so.
I think it'd be tough to pick anyone except for the Detroit Tigers right now as far as the team that has impressed me the most in the wild card series. Like Fernando said, going into Houston, sweeping the Astros, who had been to 7 straight American League Championship Series. The Astros aren't even going to make the ALDS this year, which is just crazy to think about. And Detroit completely turned their season around, and now they have a real shot at an American League pennant, maybe a trip to the World Series.
I'm going to say this right now. I think the Tigers are going to eliminate the Guardians. This Tigers team is coming off a lot of momentum. They're playing really good baseball. And the Guardians, let's be honest, they don't have that good pitch. So don't be surprised if the Tigers end up going to the championship series.
Yeah, they really came out of nowhere this season, and they really brought it, and they're in it to win it. So, switching sports, let's talk about the National Hockey League, because hockey is finally back. The NHL Global Series in the Czech Republic starts tomorrow, with the Sabres and the Devils going head-to-head. So, who do you guys have winning this game? I think it might be really close.
I'll say this, as a Sabres fan, we have a hometown kid from the Czech. We have that momentum, we have that drive to really win it for him. I'm going to say that's going to be a really big motivating factor. We also have a lot of young players like Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, Zach Benson. The Devils, they have the Hughes brothers. They have a lot of good powerhouse enforcers as well, but I think that the Sabres they're going to win it.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say the Devils win this game. They have a high-powered offense that is younger than the Sabres. They have been together for a good amount of time, so that brings in chemistry, which is important. And they brought in offseason additions like goalie Jacob Markstrom. As for the Sabres, like, they don't have a lot of offensive power outside of Tage Thompson, and they haven't been a good team for a long, long time. So you know that feeling. So for that reason, I do think the Devils will win tomorrow.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Fernando here. There's one player I look at in this matchup the most, and that is Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. I really think he's going to take over in this game and help them to a win.
I'm sorry, Victoria, but I'm going to have to agree. My money is on the Devils. Given their rebuild that the Sabres are having and still kind of working on, and it's the first game of the season, so we really haven't seen either team play, I think that the safest bet is to go with the Devils. But I also want to appreciate that hockey is global, because I think that that can help inspire children of many generations. But in some other big news on the ice is that the All-Star Game is going to be replaced with the NHL Four Nations Face-Off in Boston and Montreal. Do we like this change? Do we think it's a good change? What are our thoughts?
I think it is a good change because I think it's a good way to see kind of the best from our game on a big stage like this. I mean, the All-Star Game is fun, right? But I feel like not a lot of people pay attention to the NHL All-Star Game as opposed to other leagues. So I think making a change could maybe draw in a bigger audience.
I also think it gives the NHL players a chance to really show up for their own countries. I know there's been a lot of feedback and backlash about NHL players going to the Olympics as well due to like managers, owners, everyone kind of saying they don't want injuries on their team if they go to the Olympics. So I think it's a good way to really have players play for their own countries but also still play for the NHL.
I'm going to go with you, Victoria, on you as well. I like this change too. I've never been a fan of the All-Star Game. I just think it's a stupid game. It's just a wasted time, to be honest with you, since most of the players don't try. And also, this is a perfect opportunity for the sport to grow internationally. And in the United States, let's be honest, the NHL is not that popular here. And with this game, I just feel like with this opportunity to grow the game, and also, like you said, the players might actually try since they're representing their own country now. So I think this is a great opportunity to grow the game.
Yeah.
So if there was any negative feedback, like what do we think people would say? Like what is the negatives?
I think the All-Star Game is a good way to showcase players' like personalities. But other than that, it's really just another like All-Star Game. It's not.
I just say it's just a way for the NHL to draw in money. It's like that's the only thing I can think of, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if there was one complaint I think fans would have is that they like things the way they are sometimes, and drawing away from an All-Star Game, making a big change like this could draw some negativity. But like I said, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to see what it's all about, and I think it could actually be pretty cool to watch.
All right. So, since this is a frenzy show and everyone likes different sports, I want you guys to go to the board and show me your favorite sports play of all time from any sports. So, first up, Fernando, let's have you go to the board. Let's see what your play is.
All right, perfect. Well, so as we all know, soccer is my favorite sport, and my favorite team is Barcelona. And in 2017, Messi scored probably one of the best goals I've ever seen. Look at this run by Sergio Roberto. He went from the back line all the way to the offensive end, and then look, all the way to Jordi Alba on the left flank, and then that chemistry that Messi and Jordi Alba have is so huge. It's like Messi knew that Jordi Alba was going to pass the ball there, and Messi was just all there ready to shoot it and score that game-winning goal. And look at how heartbroken the Real Madrid fans are. They're like in shock. They can't believe it. And then also the celebration is just perfect. It's just a way to say, this is my territory. I own you. So for me, this is my favorite sports moment of all time.
I'd have to agree. I'm not an avid soccer watcher, but you can really see how much chemistry they have between the two of them and how much like almost they could read each other's minds, how they knew where they were going to go to score that goal.
Yeah, plus I got to imagine soccer is a very popular game in the world, so the fans reacting to that play, it had to be crazy to witness in person.
I think that is a great first clip pick. Props to you. I think that
Thank
is
you.
amazing. Next up, Victoria, let's see your play.
All right. So, hockey is my favorite sport. As I said, I am a Sabres fan, so this is actually a goal from a rookie last season, Zach Benson. He's from Canada, and you can just see how he showcases his talent with the between the legs goal. That's really something that's coming more and more prominent. It's probably becoming more popular within the last 2-3 years with a lot of new rookies trying out new talent and everything to showcase what they can do and bring to the game to change it. So I just think that was amazing to see. It's really cool, especially because it was against the Capitals. We don't like the Capitals, so I loved this clip.
Yeah, I like it too. It's a very impressive goal, I'll be honest with you. Top 10 worthy.
Yeah, I always enjoy watching hockey highlights and seeing the handles with the stick that the players have. How impressive it is that they actually turn some of these plays into goals.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen this clip, so thank you for sharing. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah.
Next up, Adam, let's see your clip.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know, my favorite sport is baseball, and I'm a huge Philadelphia Phillies fan, so obviously you know what clip I'm choosing here. It is Bryce Harper's go-ahead home run in the 2022 National League Championship Series that put the Phillies ahead 4-3 and would go on to send them to their first World Series berth since 2009. Obviously, the Phillies didn't win the World Series that year, which was okay. I was happy they made it, but getting to watch this home run by the player that the Phillies signed in 2019, at the time to the richest contract in American sports history, it was just phenomenal to see Bryce put the city and the team on his back and go out there, deliver a huge home run, a clutch moment, and send his team to the World Series. And honestly, another thing that comes to mind is Bryce's time with the Nationals. You know, a lot of the criticism with him, he wasn't able to come through the clutch, bring the Nationals to the World Series, so he finally put all that doubt to rest with his home run and showed, I can lead a team to the World Series, and did just that with the Phillies. So what do you guys think about this clip?
Oh, I agree with you. This was like almost, and this was in my top 10 to be honest with you. I still remember watching this game with my friends. I was like, we need to win this game because if the Phillies don't win, I'm scared that the Padres might come back and win the NLCS. And Harper hit that, and I was like, oh my, did that really just happen? I just couldn't believe it at the time. And I just remember the celebration I made with my friends. For me, it was one of the greatest moments as well.
I think it was a really important home run as well to win, get this game going because you are in the bottom of the eighth. It's a tight game already, and you're just a little stressed out, wondering what could happen, and he really went out there for his team.
As a Phillies fan, I think it's a great home run. I have to be honest, I was celebrating that home run, so
So was I.
I like your pick.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, now it's my pick. So, I am a football fan. My favorite team is the Phillies, and my dad's favorite team is the Patriots. So I chose the Philly special. I love this play. Nick Foles acted like he was calling, but then when that ball snapped, he ran like a wide receiver, caught the play, and scored the touchdown. I think that this was a really risky move, especially given that this was the first time that they had ever ran this play, and it was a Super Bowl game. So I really think that it was a risk, but I mean, it was a risk that paid off, and you can really see how well they work as a team. You can see their connection through their celebration, and I think it was a good play, especially for a Super Bowl game. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on this play?
Even though I don't like the Eagles at all, I'll admit that this play was very impressive. It was 4th and goal. I still remember 4th and goal. They were at the 2-yard line, and you run a play that you haven't even run that much in practice, and to pull it off on your first try, that is very, very impressive. And against Tom Brady and the Patriots of all teams, that was a great play.
Yeah, it was just fantastic to watch at the time because you're looking at the TV and you're like, I'm sorry, what did they just do? Like, how were they able to pull that off? Nonetheless, in the Super Bowl against the greatest player of all time and one of the greatest teams, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, I've seen this a few times, and still every time I get a little bit shocked and, goosebumps, because that's something that not many teams even try pulling off.
And let's be honest, there have been a lot of Super Bowls in our lifetime, and there is not many memorable plays when it comes to these Super Bowls, but this one is one of those memorable Super Bowl plays.
I mean, I just had to internally celebrate because, my dad's a Patriots fan and I'm an Eagles fan, so I had to include that one. Shout out, Dad, I know you're watching. Okay, so moving on, we're going to do Athlete Matching Fun Fact Edition. So I want you guys to look at the 5 athletes on the board and match them with whatever you think is their fun fact.
All right.
Let's see, we got Serena Williams, Ronaldo, Simone Biles, Michael Jordan, and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
I think something may come to mind here, but I'm not sure how one of the players
I'm going
fits
to
this.
say that Patrick Mahomes. Oh, what the heck? I'm going to say he's very afraid of bees.
I was thinking that too. I don't know why. He's just giving, I run away when I see a bee.
I was thinking Cristiano Ronaldo, because that would be kind of funny, because this picture he looks so tough, but then if a bee comes by,
Actually, looking at the father played in the MLB one, I know Patrick Mahomes' father was an MLB player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm not sure about the rest of them, though.
Okay. Then
Right.
I believe you, Adam. Then I think we should go with Patrick Mahomes' father played in the MLB.
We'll see if we're right.
Favorite water sport is tubing. What Simone Biles? I don't know.
I would never know if Mahomes' favorite water sport was tubing, that's for sure.
I do have to agree, Simone Biles. She just seems like, a fun-loving person. That seems like something she'd do.
She definitely seems adventurous. I feel like I could see her water tubing.
Yeah. Loves esports and has invested millions into them. I could say Ronaldo. I mean, he has a lot of money, so.
I would agree. Maybe, I feel like Michael Jordan could be afraid of bees, and I think that would be really funny.
He definitely could be.
Yeah, I could say
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I mean, on the court he looks tough, but outside the court we might have other opinions. And named after a president, Serena. Then I guess.
Maybe? Is that what we're going
I'm
with?
not
I guess
sure,
so.
but
I guess so.
Simone
I
Biles'
guess-
favorite sport is water tubing.
Yes.
Serena Williams is named after a president. Michael Jordan is very afraid of bees. Ronaldo, he loves his esports. And Patrick Mahomes' father played in the MLB.
Yeah.
I think we connected them, guys.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
see.
Let's see.
Let's see what it is.
Oh.
All right.
Serena. Interesting.
Huh.
You were right about the Patrick Mahomes one.
Yeah, I knew I would nail that one.
Simone Biles afraid of bees.
Honestly, I could see that.
Not too great, guys, but
The Jordan one's not that surprising considering all the money he has with
Actually-
his brand and his playing days.
Actually, Ronaldo. I mean, yeah, I would be the only president I would think that is named after him is the Portugal president. But I don't know what else.
Well, we're 1 for 5, so that's something.
At least we got one right.
Yeah.
It
I'm
could've
glad
been
I helped
worse.
you all get one.
Yeah,
So
thank
thank
you,
you.
Adam.
You're
we're
welcome.
leaving room for improvement, guys.
We'll get better.
We'll work on it.
So, let's switch up the sports. NBA Media Day just happened, and as always, it was a fun time with some memorable moments. Since the NBA is coming back soon, let's quickly go over who everyone thinks will win the championship.
You're gonna laugh at this, but I think it's gonna be the Knicks. I really like what they did in the offseason. I think Mikal Bridges was a good trade. I also think getting Karl-Anthony Towns was good. They needed a center. They have a lot of chemistry. What do you think they call the Nova Knicks? They have the size now to match up with the Celtics. Now that they have Karl-Anthony Towns, and I'll be honest with you, I think getting rid of Julius Randle was the best thing that they could have ever done. Yes, this guy. Yes, I know he was an all-star. I understand he showed up in the regular season, but let's look. But in the playoffs, he wasn't that good. He didn't come through. He was such a liability for them. So I really like the Knicks what they did, and I would not be shocked if they win it all this season.
I'd have to say the Celtics. I think they had a lot of momentum last season, I have my faith in the Celtics, so.
I don't want to sound biased because I'm a fan of the team, but I think the Oklahoma City Thunder will win this year's NBA Finals. This team, you have seen the progression from their rebuild. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best players in the NBA. They brought in Isaiah Hartenstein this offseason, former New York Knick, to help with their size down low. They brought in Alex Caruso to help with their defense. This team has just built one of the greatest overall teams in the entire NBA, and I really think it's going to stack up well this season, and they're going to win the championship because of it.
I'm with Victoria on this one. I think that the Celtics might have it. I mean, they won it last year, which proved that they had good team chemistry. And I think having that experience of already winning last year certainly can be helpful, but it's really early, so I think it's anybody's game.
I honestly think the Celtics run to the championship was Mickey Mouse. Like, look, they wasn't that good. They were playing injured teams all the time, and the best team they played was the Mavericks. And let's be honest, they didn't have it was a mismatch for the Mavericks. So that's why I honestly think it will be the Knicks. But I'll say to you this, Adam, the Thunder is a really good pick and a really good one because I don't think their time is now, but it's coming because they're very, very young. In fact, Alex Caruso is their oldest player at 30 years old. So this team, the more they play, the better they're going to get. So I would not be shocked in the next 2 years they win a championship.
I would have to agree on that for sure.
Well, this is absolutely wild, but we are almost a quarter way through the NFL season.
Crazy.
And some crazy things have happened, like this whole Davante Adams situation. Apparently, rumor is he wants to be traded, and a lot of reports say to the Jets. What do you guys think about this whole situation?
I'll speak on it first. I can't say I'm surprised because the Raiders, not that great of a team. They're not that great at building good teams. And the whole reason Adams went to Vegas at first was to play with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is no longer there. So why would he want to stay there? And he has played with Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Jets, before from his days in Green Bay. So I do think going to the Jets could make sense. We'll see if New York gets the move done.
No, I agree with you, Adam. I mean, I'm not surprised. This was waiting to happen. I mean, it seemed like he wanted to leave the moment Derek Carr went to the Saints. And, I mean, if he goes to the Jets, like, they're a Super Bowl contender. He will make Aaron Rodgers and the team much better. But you know what I'm going to say? As a Cowboys fan, Jerry Jones, get on the phone. Go all in on getting Davante Adams. You desperately need this guy. You cannot put all the focus on CeeDee Lamb. We need a wide receiver, too, and Davante Adams is that guy.
I don't know. I've seen reports of, him talking with Buffalo Bills, and I'm also a Bills fan. But I'm just not sure that we can afford that, Our salary cap is almost hit, and I feel like our team needs a younger wide receiver. So I do think he'll go to the Jets.
Yeah, I do too. But
my only concern with this is I feel as though Davante Adams has, in the past, maybe showed a little bit of selfish behavior. So are we concerned about him, coming to a team and just kind of making it all about him, or why?
And then that's the biggest reason why I would say go to the Jets, because you play with Aaron Rodgers, you have that chemistry, he knows how to control you, so that friendship will be a huge impact on the field.
I think it'll also help him improve as a player as well, going back with someone that he's already played with, that he knows the plays he's going to make. I'm not a Jets fan, but it could be good for the Jets. So
yeah.
I also will say, going off Fernando's point or whoever said that he could really not fit in well and make a big fuss about all this, Rodgers loves to be the center of attention. Mm-hmm. So I think Davante would fit in very well with the Jets for that aspect because they can be the center of attention together over there.
Going off that, though, would that cause issues? I mean, they both like to be the center of attention. Would Davante Adams, throw a little tantrum and send himself back into getting traded again?
Definitely could.
I mean, they had a lot of success on the Packers, so I mean, it was all about them not getting it done in the playoffs. I mean, that's what Aaron Rodgers' reputation is all his career. So
I do agree, though. I definitely think that he is going to get traded. I kind of hope that it is to the Jets. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm an Eagles fan. However, I would like to see Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams play again together. I think that could be a concerning power duo, though.
Yeah.
Please be the Cowboys. We need them more than ever. I know we have a lot of problems, but we desperately need a wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Finally, we have an interesting Thursday night football game tonight, guys, between the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Any predictions for the game tonight? What are we thinking?
Oh boy, this is a hard game to predict. I mean, divisional games are always hard to predict, let's be honest. But if I really had to choose one, I would go with the Buccaneers, to be honest with you.
I agree.
They played really well against the Eagles. They dominated that game. They have so many weapons on offense. Also, let me point this out. It's Kirk Cousins during prime time. Do you know how bad he is during prime time? Like, I don't trust Kirk Cousins at all. So, like, also, let's be honest. The Falcons are lucky. They're very lucky. They're 2-2. This team could easily be 0-4. They are a Saquon drop away and a field goal from being 0-4. So I'm not impressed with the Falcons. It looks like Kirk Cousins is still rusty. He's struggling to build chemistry with his teammates. So for me, it's obvious that the Buccaneers are going to be the winner tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Fernando. I'm going with the Buccaneers in this one. But I'm going to speak more about how good Tampa Bay has been. Baker Mayfield, I think, deserves a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. I had to watch the worst of Baker Mayfield. And I've had to watch the worst of a lot as a fan of that team. But going back to the Buccaneers, Baker has been such a good player for that team. And he's been a fantastic leader, really revitalized his career there, and has been a fantastic leader for that offense. They look like one of the best teams in the NFL with him under center. And I really think they're going to be 4-1 and really continue to dominate with a win here tonight.
I'm going to have to disagree, guys. I would like to see the Falcons take this one. I think it's a home game, which helps always. I think it's like a shorter week football-wise. I feel like maybe the Falcons could come through and win this game.
Again, it's Kirk Cousins during prime time. Like,
yeah, but it's a home game. You got the energy of all your fans in the stadiums. I mean,
this guy has a 13-21 record during prime time. Every other game, he has a winning every other time slot, he has a winning record. This guy, it's like Jared Allen said it. The lights are too bright for him.
I'm a sucker for the underdogs, though, so I'd like to see the Falcons just pull through.
I mean, I think it's the Buccaneers. Watching last week's game and just how they pulled through, and Baker Mayfield really has a hold of his team. Everyone kind of just follows his lead. It just shows how much of an effect he's had on the Buccaneers and how much he can turn that team around to win this.
Yeah. It'll be a good game, to be honest with you. Excited to watch.
I'm excited to watch it. Most of my attention will be on the Mets-Brewers game tonight, but I will be keeping my eyes on Thursday Night Football and seeing how this game goes.
I'll have the Mets game on my computer, and I'll have Thursday night on my TV. So
there you go.
So don't worry. I'll make sure I watch both games.
I'll probably be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that is all we have for 360 Sports tonight, but make sure you stay tuned to next week.